What's up, guys? Today on the Urbstead, I'm going to be taking you through a step-by-step process of creating your own backyard chicken tractor. Look at it in all its glory. By the end of the video, you will have seen me go at every little step, getting this prepared for what it is right here, getting these chicks in, and getting them rehomed. Thank you for coming along. Please stick around to the end to see the entire process all the way through. You won't regret it. So now that we got this saw set up, I know it looks kind of janky, but hey, you're gonna have to do what you're gonna have to do. And when you don't have a nice, super clean table saw and miter saw set up where you can get these really lovely positive stops, well, you just kind of got to make do. So this is what I came up with, and so far it's been working well. But basically what we're doing here is we're going to be cutting these 2x2 down into the lengths that I need. I'm going to list these on the screen. The beauty of the design that I came up with is, as you can see, there's only 3 individual unique cuts. This obviously cuts down on the time to make the parts, as you can see, and I'm not having to do a lot of effort besides measuring once, making the stop at that length, and then trying my best to keep the same length every time. Great, they're the same size. All right, now we have gotten into the construction of the frames themselves. Again, I tried to make this as simple as possible. There's only 2 unique kinds of frames. There's the squares and the long rectangles. The squares are going to end up being used 2 on a side to make the sides that pivot inwards. And then obviously the long rectangles are going to be for the long sides as well as for the top. In this case, I'm not going to do a whole lot of effort. I only have these long nails laying around, and so I'm just going to be kind of whacking this all together. And if you've done woodwork yourself, you'll know that there's not a lot of strength in these square shapes that I'm making. And my hope is that once I add on the wire mesh towards the end, that the rigidity is going to go up. And this is going to be an important thing because these are going to be pulled and slid around the backyard, hopefully for years to come. Since the chicken tractor is going to be located outside in the backyard, now we're going to have to do some weatherproofing. I got this really simple, cheapest thing I could find at the store, weatherproofing that works on decking as well as bricks and cement. And I'm just going to do a really quick and dirty coat on each of the pieces. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and make sure every little nook and cranny gets as much as possible. I'm also going to focus on the ends where it's fresh cut, and I'm going to be dabbing on a bunch there to hopefully soak down into the wood more. A great thing that I've noticed here as I'm getting through them, the boards that have kind of finished drying up somewhat, I've noticed that the drops, when they hit the wood, bead up immediately, the way you would hope when having a waterproof deck. That gives me some confidence that this waterproofing liquid is going to do the job that we're hoping. So now we're going to be putting a bunch of hinges on. I have to admit, this part really drove me nuts. These hinge screws are tiny, and trying to mentally figure out how this is all going to hinge back and forth, which area the hinge needs to be on, and how this is all going to fit together once it's really all put together all at once, confused me. It was exciting and it was a fun challenge, but I can't say that it was super easy mentally for me to just picture it all. So a couple times I take all the screws back out to get things laid out flat because it's a lot easier to work flat. And then also when it comes time to doing the mesh later, you'll see I take it apart again. Again, it's because it's easier to work flat on the ground rather than trying to work, vertically on the sides of these walls. So, with that all done, I think it looks beautiful. I got so giddy when I saw this step being finished because it finally started to look like a pen or a chicken run. Anyways, the kids also loved it. You could see they're going to be playing in this thing in and out and pretending that it's a bathroom or pretending it's a tent, all kinds of stuff. I love watching this. If I had to say any part of this project was my least favorite in terms of pain, it would be this wire mesh. I can't stand this stuff. My hands always get chewed up, and I always forget when to wear leather gloves and when not to wear leather gloves so that I can handle the wire mesh the easiest. But realistically, this is one of the most important parts of the chicken tractor. So we're gonna get through it. First, I'm gonna lay all these things down. I'm gonna lay all the wall pieces down so I can get a measurement for how big these small squares need to be in terms of wire mesh cutoff. And then I will flip it all around, and I'm going to do the same with the long rectangle. My hope here is to just get all of the material cut first, and then you'll also see me start to shave down the top half of the wire mesh so that the wire mesh itself doesn't stick up and over the walls. Once all said and done, it's going to look really sharp, and I'm really pleased with choosing the wire cloth from the start instead of going with chicken wire and then having to upgrade. I cannot stress enough, if you're going to cover a run or a chicken anything, just go straight to hardware cloth.
mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
And there it is. Let's just move it into the backyard. Each of the pieces have been covered in cloth, and now it's fully meshed up and ready to be assembled. Let's get these chickens and let's get this done. Now that we got this pen made,
that looks like it's homemade.
yeah, it does look homemade, but it's okay.
It's just so big.
Yeah, it does. It is so big. Okay. So we got it put together. Let's go ahead and give it a test run. Yeah, I built that one. Now it doesn't, the roof's not done yet, but let's go ahead and just try this out where we get the chicks out here and put them in. Still just 8, but they're big enough to feel like 20 chicks. All right. So Daddy's gonna take these off first. Yeah. They're kind of growing up to look like dinosaurs.
Yeah, like the other chickies.
Yep. All right. Here we go.
They are really crazy now.
Ugh. You don't think so? Okay. That's great. Ugh. Hiya, chickies. Hiya, chickies.
Yeah, look how much it is.
Yeah, that's yes. All right. There's another one. All right, can you step back here? Daddy's got to get past. All right.
What is that for? Now, what's the store for? What was the store for, Dad?
That's actually the door to your bedroom closet. We didn't have anywhere else to put it. Okay. So let's quickly get these chickens out of here. We'll get it moved.
Chickies.
Yep. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's get them over here. A new space.
Daddy, why are they? This could be in a bucket layer.
Or not. Nope. Wow.
I want to get in there too.
This is now the chicken's home, guys.
Yeah.
So now Daddy's got to get the brooder so they can stay warm. Yeah? That's right, Tita.
They kind of look like rhinos.
They do kind of look like rhinos.
Oh, rhinoceros.
Kind of looks like they enjoy their new home. All right, so as usual, now that I have this massive pile of chicken manure, I'm gonna go ahead and add it, just like I had been to the other clean out sets, into the compost pile. And once that's done, we'll go ahead and start working on the roof and get these chicks covered up. That's how they talk. That's it. So basically we're done here. A few things of note that I would like to add on is probably 4 handles, 2 on either side, to make it really easy to just pull around. 1 handle on top of here, maybe to make this a little more functional. and also a little latch to close this up so that at night no little raccoon hands are lifting this thing up and getting inside. But that's the chicken tractor. Now, you're gonna say, what about a roof, a solid roof, and some walls? It's getting kind of windy and it's getting a little chilly. And as you can see, they're kind of chilly. They're shivering. So the initial plan right now is I'm gonna take that green tarp and I'm gonna kind of, in a much more serious fashion, line the back half of that to keep that windproof and weatherproof. And then, yeah, I'm gonna get these chicks some water because they're probably really thirsty, and close it up. And we're gonna call this project done. So this has been making a chicken tractor as efficiently and cheaply as I possibly can, I think, and just taking a swing at it for the first time. If this really works out well, this is great because it's pretty collapsible, as you've seen. I will be able to just break this all down into probably about a 18-inch wide space by 60 feet and be able to store it until the next time we get chicks. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. Thank you everybody for watching today. I hope that you're able to take away that even if you don't build this exact chicken tractor, it is within your reach to build a containment unit for your own backyard meat birds. As you can see, this thing is tiny. It's 20 inches tall, 40 inches wide, and 60 inches long. That leaves you with just enough space on the inside to give you the desired amount of square footage per bird. It's a little tight, but I think that it's okay. Also, as we all know, these birds are gonna last another 4 weeks here before they get butchered. And we're nervous about that, but also excited. And we're looking forward to sharing that process with you as well. So, here's my chicken tractor. What do you think of it? Do you like it? If you wanna learn how I made it, please shoot me a comment down below. I will also try to leave in the description a link to a little more specific detail on how I built this in terms of materials and kind of methodology. I haven't really figured out a way to draw up an exact workbook or instructions per se, but maybe one day I'll be able to put that together if anyone voices interest in liking what they see here. The upgraded version of this, obviously, is to have one of these panels be a solid plastic or even the corrugated metal roof. That way you don't have to do sort of this janky thing in the back here. Another option would be to open it a different way. Instead of two long panels, you'd have one, instead of the panels broken up down the middle here, you could have them broken up down the middle there. And again, change materials. But this way of building it is the easiest way I could come up with to make really simple cuts in the wood and to make really simple shapes and come out with something that's big enough. I don't know if you'll notice here, this square and this square are identical. So all I had to do was make 4 of these, and I have the sides. These rectangles on top, as well as on the long sides, are also identical. This really helped me when cutting down the wood itself. It made it a lot simpler to know that all I had to do was cut 20 pieces at this length, 8 pieces at this length, and 8 pieces at this length. That was kind of the game plan going into it. How can I make this as easily as possible? And then because that was a time savings and a lot easier to cut down, the construction itself was also easier because I knew I just had to take 2 of these pieces, 2 of these, and do that 4 times. And then also with these long pieces, it's a similar method. So my goal here truly was to simplify, 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 and come up with a way that as easily as I could think of, I could create this chicken tractor, and also it could be reproducible. Maybe down the road we look at getting another couple chickens, every time we do new chicks. Maybe we, instead of going with 8, we try to go for maybe double that and hope that more survive. Well, then it's going to be really simple for me to just make the second tractor. I went with the half-inch hardware cloth, which is what I ended up going with on the chicken coop for safety in terms of critters trying to get in. It's stout material. It itself also adds to the rigidity of each of these boards. I'm not planning on putting anything heavy on top of this or on top of these, so I don't have any issue or any fears of there being collapsing issues. And the spans aren't actually that big to where collapsing seems to be a possibility. When I gave it a good tug on the bottom to see how good it pulls, nothing seemed to shimmy too much or canter or rock. Nothing seemed to do much raking. I'm guessing that's because of this really stout material. Typically when you have a square made out of wood where there's not a ton of fasteners used, you can really easily break it by shearing. And that is what we'll be doing when we're sledding it, is shearing these walls, long walls back and forth. So I'm happy to see that the material on the outside is also adding a lot of rigidity. Chicken tractor done. On to the next one. Thank you guys for coming by. If you had any ideas or thoughts or interests, or you liked what you saw, please leave a comment down below. Give the video a like and subscribe, and share this video with someone who you may know who's trying to get into backyard chickens. Or if you're trying to get into backyard chickens yourself, reach out and say hey. Anyways, thank you guys for coming. And as always, grow on.